What is going on, guys? My name is Tim Roswick, and today we've got an opinion piece from me. This is purely my opinion. This is how I operate. This is how my marketing company operated, and it's a kind of a principal rule in anything that I do because I think it's so critical. And my opinion, because I get a ton of questions, right? Like, especially because I have the indie game marketing series. I have a bunch of videos on marketing. I've talked to people about marketing. I get messages on Discord and emails and tweets and all that stuff. And a lot of people are like, Tim, I need help marketing my game. Tim, I need all that. Well, I'm gonna tell you step one. Any kind of marketing. It's not post to Twitter. It's not send out emails to press. It's not build a press kit. It's building an audience. Start building an audience right now. Doesn't matter if you never finished a game. Doesn't matter if you know anything about marketing. Doesn't matter if you have any social media accounts. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Build an audience. Tim, how do I do that? How do I build an audience? What do I do? Where do I go? What do I post? Start with finding people that will be interested in the things that you do. The easiest way to start building an audience is by building an audience of people similar to you. If you're into, game development, building an audience with the game developers is a good way to start. If you're into, random types of RPGs or whatever, go and hang out with RPGs. Just get to know people. Building an audience, a lot of people think that they're like the marketing terminology that I learned in like all the different books and stuff is very militaristic, right? It's like your target audience. The way that the terms work is like you're targeting people, like you're some superior power and these people are below you and they're your target, right? They're the person that you're trying to get to and you're trying to get them to buy shit. And like, if there's one thing that I've learned in life, it's that everybody's equal. We're all just fine and dandy human beings, okay? And if you want to build an audience, you got to stop thinking like, hey, I'm better than them. I need these people to buy my game, so I'm going to just keep telling them to buy my game. Or I'm going to keep posting on Twitter so these people will buy my game. Because you're thinking of people like numbers. You're thinking of people like military targets. And I think you should think of people like people. The way that I built Game Dev Underground, the way that I built anything before it, any kind of community, anything. Like, I've always been into building communities. Before Game Dev Underground, it was, like when I was little, I'd build clubs and clubhouses, and like my friends would they would join the club, and it would be like this secret thing. Like, it's kind of been a part of my life, all of my life, and even being an introvert, that sense of like I have other people in this with me always gave me that confidence that I needed to interact and to go places, knowing that people have my back. And you don't always have that feeling, right? Like, especially in the beginning. Going into something is really scary. You don't know if people are going to have your back. You don't know how to approach them. You don't know how to talk to them. You don't know what to say. You don't even know who you should talk to. But building an audience is so critically important. And the way that you build an audience is by making friends. Just being nice. Adding value to their lives. There's so many technical ways to do it, right? You could do it through social media. You could do it through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, any tool that you choose. Whatever tool that you are the most comfortable with, you should use that. That's the tool that you use. I'm not going to tell you what the best tool is to use it because there is no best tool, just like there's no best game engine. You got to use the tool that you're most familiar with, the tool that gets out of your way and allows you to communicate best with people. If you like photos, if you're a graphic designer, if you're an artist, if you're a very visual person, Instagram probably works better for you. If you're a writer, if you like to write, if you like long paragraphs, blogging and something like Facebook probably works better for you. If you're like me that just would rather talk and, share my passion with you guys in this kind of format, rather than like spend a whole bunch of time writing, video probably works better for you. Whatever it is, you can build an audience. It's just going to take your investment to create content that will attract those people and your long-term dedication to that skill. You're watching this video on, I'm gonna check for you. I'm gonna give you the actual number here. You're watching this video. If you're watching it the day that it came out, you're watching this video on the 197th. 197th. Look at this. I have an app that I keep track of this stuff. See if you can see if it'll focus. No, it's not going to focus. 197th day. Post a YouTube video. Every single day for 197 days, I posted a YouTube video. And I have built an audience because of that. It takes a long time. It takes consistency. It takes really dedicating yourself to doing it. And it's very slow at first. Matter of fact, at first, it almost seems like you're not making any progress at all. And it can seem that way for months. It did for me. It did for many others. Like, building an audience is a slow, grueling, painful process. And you feel like nobody's listening and nobody gives a shit. But if you keep at it, and you put all of your effort into it, and you listen, you don't just keep doing the same pig-headed thing over and over and over again. You put stuff out, you see what happens, you take that feedback in, and then you iterate, and you do it again, right? I'm not just posting the same video over and over and over and over again, although in some cases I reiterate. Definitely I do that. But you want to learn from what you do every time, right? And then especially as you start to gain momentum, maybe your blog posts start to get a few visitors. Maybe your tweets start to get a few retweets. Maybe your Instagram posts start to get a few likes. Then you can get the feedback. Then you can iterate. You can figure out, like, hey, when I posted this Instagram post, it didn't get as many likes, but I got a bunch of cool people instead of those other people that don't stick around. Hey, when I posted this video about this topic, I got a bunch of people that really share my same values instead of the other video that didn't get me anywhere, or that maybe got 100,000 views, but it's not the kind of audience that I want. Building an audience is so critically important. This goes way beyond game development, okay? This is a game development channel for sure, but this concept goes way beyond game development. If you're trying to make a game and you want an audience, what is the number one thing that you could do right now to get that audience of gamers? I can think of a lot of things. If I wanted to make an RPG, I would very likely start a Let's Play channel on RPGs, or at least partner with people that already have that channel. Get in front of them, do collaborations, tweet them, get noticed by them, constantly tweet them and say, hey, get them to retweet all your shit. And when you know they've retweeted you 10 times, then you email them. Because guess what? They're going to recognize your name, right? They're gonna see that email pop up and be like, oh, I know this guy. I've seen him on Twitter 100 times. There's so many different things that you can do, but it's going to take time. It's going to take you 6 months to 2 years. That's the amount of time you're looking at to build an audience. And it's going to take way longer than that. But that's the time it's going to take to get traction. Some people are faster, some people are slower. It's going to take a lot of work, it's going to take a lot of effort, but having an audience is so critically important to anything that you do. Doesn't matter if you paint, doesn't matter if you make games, doesn't matter if you sell cars. Having people that respect you and look up to your opinion and look to you for knowledge and advice and all that kind of stuff is very powerful. And it's not just for selling stuff, right? Like, people, there's a lot of people on YouTube. There are a lot of people in marketing especially, where they're trying to sell things. And they're trying to sell things without people trusting them. Building an audience first, rather than trying to sell things, creates a certain sense of trust, right? Like, the people that I've interacted here with on this channel, the people that have emailed me, the people that have asked me for help, all of those people know that I'm here to help them. It's not some facade. I'm not trying to target them, using the military terms to, like, for some epic game plan. Do I want to make money from Game Dev Underground? Absolutely. Do I want to do this as my full-time business? Absolutely. I fucking love this. This is amazing to do. But that comes after adding value. That comes after building the audience. I don't start that way. I don't start by cramming shit down people's throats, right? I'm not saying buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit. That's not how it works. And that's what most people do. When they have their game, they would say, buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit. They bombard it everywhere. It annoys the shit out of me, and I'm sure it annoys the shit out of plenty of other people. But when you start with the audience, when you start by adding value, you start by like trying to improve other people's lives, you start by trying to make friends, people trust you, people like you, they know you. When you have something to sell, they are very likely to buy it. So is it a marketing tactic? Sure. But I think it's a better way to live life. Like, dude, since I started Game Dev Underground, I cannot tell you, like, the being able to have a platform and talk to people and share my opinions, and not only that, but just interact with people, get feedback on stuff, like see how people are doing, check in on our life, have people tell me that like I inspired them to make games or something like that. The level of like fulfillment and happiness I get from that in life is worth so much more than any kind of monetary benefit, right? But that's on top. There is a monetary benefit. Anytime you can control eyeballs, you can generate money. It doesn't matter what you do, whether it's advertising or selling products or whatever. I have a book coming up. That's going to be a product of mine. I have a game coming up. That's going to be a product of mine, right? I'm gonna generate money in various different ways from my audience. But it's coming from a place of like adding value first, right? You guys trust me, hopefully. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. I don't know. But from what I see, like I try and put out 1,000 times more than I ever asked for. I very rarely ask for anything from my audience, and that's intentional because I want an actual community. I want to invest in that. And hopefully what that leads to is a trustworthy and loyal and long-term audience where we can all be together, we can be a community, and we can just do awesome shit together, right? And do I plan on turning that into a business? Absolutely, at some point. Yes, for sure. And I just think that I wish more people would do it this way, because more people start with the buy my shit and they don't start with the adding value. And I just wish that they would add value first, because there's so many well-intentioned game developers, especially, that I see that just they don't understand the concept. So that's where they start, the buy my shit, buy my shit, buy my shit. So this has been a ramble, as most of my videos are becoming these days, rambles. But I hope I shed some light on some stuff and the importance of building an audience. I hope I instilled that in you. If I did, or you have any questions on it, please leave me a comment below, because I read all the comments. If you have any specific questions or anything, I'd be happy to answer for you. Once again, I'm Tim Rustwick, and I will see you again tomorrow.